Hey, Nick, it's Matt Barrows.
Hey.
You're the first player we've talked to since the virtual off-season program began. I was hoping that you could sort of describe to us how that works, how long the sessions are with Chris Kasarik and just how valuable they've been, how easy they've been to kind of handle, et cetera.
It's been pretty easy. Just an hour with coach, and then for the special teams guys, they get some extra meeting time in, and I think the new rookies are meeting at different times as well. But we're just right now it's just defensive ends together and D tackles together, and we're an hour a day on weekdays, and it's going good. I mean, it's pretty similar to a normal meeting, just letting Chris talk. It's basically how it goes, but it's all valuable information, especially for the new guys. Just going over really the basic fundamentals of our defense and how we play defense as a defensive line, and just getting our mind back fresh with everything.
Hey, Nick, this is Matt Mayoko. We saw what happened in Miami and first Sunday in February and how difficult it was for you. How have you managed to get through that, and kind of what's been your approach since the Super Bowl to get your mind right and get prepared for this 2020 season?
Just like any loss, it stings for a while, and then you eventually get over it and realize that life goes on, and you'll get another crack at it. But when it's that close, it makes it even harder. But getting back to work, it's pretty simple to get your mind off something when you could go out and train your butt off and just prepare yourself. Obviously, it's been a little tough with what's going on in the world, but we have a pretty good setup down here that we're still able to get our work in.
Hey, Nick, this is Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee. I'm curious now that, with DeForest gone, Joe Staley retired, and Emmanuel Sanders playing with the Saints, in what ways can you and some of the other younger guys step up to fill that leadership void that might be there?
We still have plenty of leadership on the team, I think. But for the guys like me and Debo and Dre, who are rookies that played a lot, and I think it's time for us to – we're not just deers in headlights anymore. We know the routine. We know how an NFL season works, and now we could really just take the next step and just work on honing our game and really studying our opponents now that we know, now that we've played them once.
Hey, Nick, this is Eric Branch with the San Francisco Chronicle. Can you just explain kind of what your off-season routine has been as far as training, where you are? Have you been able to train with your brother, that type of stuff?
Yeah, I'm back home in Fort Lauderdale. We run at a park near our house, and then we lift at our gym out in Weston that my dad owns. So we wake up at 6 in the morning. We get to the field by 7. We finish running by 8:30. Try and get off before the park rangers show up, and we grab breakfast and head to the gym. Our lifts usually end by around 2, so it's a pretty full day for us. And we hired a chef, and she's great. We have a good food delivery system, so we're keeping the nutrition really good. And obviously, we're not able to get out too much. So honestly, my body is feeling unbelievable at this point.
Hey, Nick Wagner here from ESPN. Just wanted to get your thoughts on what your reaction was to DeForest being traded, and also how important was DeForest to you last year and kind of helping you adapt and adjust?
Yeah, Buck was definitely one of my best friends on the team, and seeing him go is obviously bittersweet. He's obviously got a pretty good contract and he deserves it, but just losing him as a leader, we're going to have to really figure out how to step up and fill that void, because he was the third down D-line play caller. He was the hype speech guy. He was everything. And I think he played with the best effort on the D-line, which really shows on tape when you see somebody that big sprinting to the ball every play and making those tackles downfield. And obviously his pass rush ability. We're going to have to step up. We have obviously Javon coming in, and I'm sure he'll be a huge help. But me, D, Eric, Staley, DJ, we're all, Ronnie, we're all going to have to step it up for him.
Hey, Nick, Jennifer with NBC Sports. After all that you've accomplished your first year in the NFL, how does that set you up for the expectations coming up in your second year?
Wait, say that one more time.
So, I mean, you accomplished so much in your first year. Does that set the bar even higher for your second year?
Yes, definitely. I mean, my expectations are always high. And I set my goals really high, and I've been achieving them, so I'm just going to keep setting them high, and I mean, just keep working my butt off. And I know the work that I'm putting in now is going to show up, and I think I'm going to be a much smarter player next year, and I'm just going to know how to approach my opponents much better, and I'm not going to waste rushes. I'm not going to make silly mistakes that I made last year, and hopefully enhance my game.
Hey, Nick, it's Tracy from Fangirl Sports Network. You mentioned Javon Kinlaw. What do you know about him as a player in college, and what do you think he'll bring to the defensive line?
I didn't watch too much of South Carolina until obviously I started hearing that he might be a pick for us, and then I started to watch some of him, and he just embodies what we do as a D-line, just the way he plays the run. Oh, my dog might lose it here. Quick. Hold on, let me go inside. He's just a beast. He plays the run like we play it. He gets off the ball really fast, and he's just a giant human, perfect to replace Buckner. And I'm really excited. He seems like a good dude, and I've been talking to him a little bit, so I can't wait.
Nick, the NFL schedule comes out on Thursday, but you guys already know who you're going to be playing. Opponent-wise, do you look ahead at the tackles, on the Jets, the Patriots, teams that you might be playing at this point?
Yeah, Chris is starting to put them up into a cut up on our iPad, so I've started looking at some film of some guys already, even a little bit of film of Trent, just so I'm not caught off guard when camp rolls around. But no, yeah, we get all the cut-ups of the tackles. Chris does a great job of that, keeping us prepared. And I think that's one of the biggest things as a defensive end that you need to focus on. That's knowing your opponent.
Nick, this is Chris again. You mentioned something about Buckner, that he was sort of the third down play caller. Could you elaborate on what that process is like when you guys hit the line of scrimmage? And also, what's your dog's name and what kind of dog you have?
My dog is, well, I have two, Emma and Joni. And Joni is a black lab, and Emma is a little mutt. She's a mix of who knows what. We rescued her. And then Buckner, Buckner, he was just always like, we would turn to him on third down for our third down game calls that Coach Chris would point and tell us that we were running something, and we would walk up to Buck and be like, "What you got, Buck? What do you want?" And if Chris didn't specifically say something that we wanted, then Buckner would just decide So it was pretty big. I mean, that's a pretty big responsibility that we're going to have to pick up.
Nick, what are your you mentioned looking at a little Trent Williams film. What are your impressions of him? What stands out? Obviously, he's no secret, pretty good.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I think the biggest thing that stands out is his athleticism and his feet. He's able to recover. I think I saw a rep where somebody spun on him and he got beat, but he's able to just the way he moves his feet like a receiver. He just can move his feet so well and just stay in front of guys. And obviously, he's massive, so it's tough to power him. But yeah, he's definitely one of the best in the league. So it'll be fun to practice against him.
Nick, with so much uncertainty right now, just in terms of how much work you get in training camp and all that kind of stuff, you guys have, I think, 18 of 22 starters back. Most of your coaching staff is back. How much do you think that continuity can help you guys, particularly in a season like this where there's so many kind of uncertainties?
Yeah, I mean, I think just our team in general and our coach, he trusts us and he drafts the right people and signs the right people that are mature and just set the right standard for everybody else. So I think all of our guys are training hard still and finding a way. And I think when camp rolls around, we're going to not miss a beat. We're going to get right to it. It might take a couple practices, but I'm confident in our team. And now that we've been together, or now that I've been there at least for a year, and our D-line's been together, and most of the guys have been there, I think we're going to be one of the teams that really take advantage of this.
Nick, you mentioned making some stupid mistakes during your first year. What are the things that you want to work on going forward that you mentioned?
Just seeing the field a little better. Just not wasting rushes. Not making little technique mistakes that I would make, or just really small things that you could see on film. I mean, my alignment sometimes, I think toward later in the year, I really understood what kind of rusher I was and how to set up tackles for later in the game and just a bunch of stuff like that.
Nick, what did Joe Staley mean to you and how did he help you in your first year making that transition to the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it was huge just to be going against one of the best. And me and him would talk after every practice just about what he saw and how he felt I was as a player and just what he thought was the best way for me to approach pass rushing with my skill set. So I think just going against him and the input he gave me every day helped me a lot, and I really wish he was coming back, but I know it's a decision that he was kind of forced into, and I just wish we could have gotten him a ring, but it doesn't happen perfectly all the time, but we'll win one for him hopefully in the future.
Nick, Jake Hutchinson, KNBR. What was it like seeing Chase Young get drafted second the year after you did, and what was your conversation with him? And then, how are you looking forward to, potentially playing him this year?
Yeah, I'm super excited to see him play this year. It was really cool. I mean, it wasn't a surprise, but just to see him go the same pick. Obviously, it wasn't in Vegas like it intended to be, but I mean, it's the same. It's an unbelievable accomplishment, and he deserves it. He works really hard, and I think he's going to be really, really successful.
Hey, Nick, it's Anthony Flores with NBC Bay Area. With so much uncertainty, how concerned are you, or what is your level of concern going back? No vaccine. And do you think or do you anticipate the football season to start on time? Sorry, my kid's a little intrigued here.
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
What's your level of concern just about going back and starting training camp? There's no vaccine. I know you guys are all young, strong athletes, but is there a level of concern going back?
I'm not too concerned about myself getting it. But I mean, everything's so uncertain right now that I couldn't even say whether I think we'll be back or not, because nobody really knows. But it seems like everybody's planning on it, and I really hope so. So I want to play whatever way it is, but obviously it has to be done the right way. And I think that these next 2 months, I think a lot of answers will come out, and hopefully we'll get back to work.